welcome to part one of a series I'm going to do on improving your blues playing. Now, this is one of those subjects, I think a thorny subject, to be honest, for a lot of guitar players. It seems to be assumed if you play guitar, you must know how to play the blues and find it very interesting and very easy, and it's fantastic and it works all the time and you never have a problem with it. And I think this is far from the truth. I think most guitar players, not all, but most guitar players, what do they think when they get to the end of a solo over a blues? Someone says, I'm going to play a blues, just play a solo over this. What do they think when they get to the end of that? Well, normally they're breathing a sigh of relief because they can't think of anything else to play, really. Out of ideas after about 12 bars, or at the very most 24, and dreading the time someone asks them to play it again. So what we're going to be looking at is to see how we can change that from being this sort of sackcloth and ashes routine into something which is going to be really enjoyable and very creative. Now, in order to really improve on anything, you do have to invest some time. So I'm not going to be talking about magic tricks or anything that's going to make you into a blues demon in 5 minutes, because that's not going to happen, not in the real world. But with a little bit of effort and a little bit of understanding, you can really colour up what you're playing very, very effectively without having to have a degree in music theory. Now, just a word on the theoretical side. It's very important that you think of theory. How can I put this? Rather like your hardware store. Now, over in England, we have a place called Halfords, where they kind of fix bike punctures and sell battery chargers and stuff like that. And it's one of those places that you wouldn't go for a day out because it's not very interesting. But on the other hand, if your bike's got a puncture in the tyre, it's a really useful place, or someone's hit the one of the door mirrors on your car and you can get a little stick-on mirror. Well, this isn't interesting in itself, but it solves a problem. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because that's how theory should be. We don't want to be disappearing down some horrible black hole about chordal harmony and what we can do with diminished 13th chords and God knows what, when we don't need to. It's different if that's what we're studying. If we're going to do a course in Bartók on electric guitar, then great, let's go down the chordal harmony route. But if we're trying to play a blues, we need to be thinking very carefully about what stuff we do need and what we don't. So if you're prepared to make that little investment in time and understanding, then we can go forward. I think the first thing to say about blues is that when people play a blues, they'll generally play one scale. Now, this works to a degree because you don't really have to think about it too much. Doesn't matter whether the A's going, I'm using A as an example, or D7, or even the E. You can, etc., etc. And in a way that's good, because then you can say, that's great, I can get all the way through a blues and it's not a problem. About 5 minutes after you've achieved that, there then comes in a feeling of being rather sort of bored and thinking, well, I'm not really sure what else I can do with this now, and yet I've still got to be adventurous. Now, you can put a certain amount of energy into it, and there's some great players who are almost just energy, and that's great. But aside from that, it's nice to have some other stuff to go with. So I'm always very keen not to put too much in one video, because I'd rather you had just had one idea to get hold of. And today's idea is very, very simple, and you could argue almost teasing, but I don't really intend it to be that. It's just a very simple little concept. Okay, and I'm going to enlarge on this in the next video. So here's the first thought for you. Okay, to me, that sounds like a major sound. Okay, it's got a flat seventh in it, as we'd expect with a blues, and as also we'd expect with a blues we get a mixture of major and minor. But okay, that's a bluesy major chord to me, or major sound I should say. What do I hear here? Well, okay, there's two things I can hear there. One is a D7, obviously, which in itself is a bluesy seventh chord. But what I'd like you to think about is major and minor. Okay. Now, that's all I'm going to say in this video. Think about major and minor. Okay, and in the next video, we're going to look at exactly how we can put that into practice. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.